Maybe I should have coated it in KY jelly, I don't know. She's got it. This is a grade A farm fresh chicken egg, guys. I did this on a whim after reading that rat snakes will take eggs in captivity and eat bird eggs in the wild. I also heard from the previous owner of this snake that she does take eggs. It's something I have never tried before with any of my snakes, and something I wouldn't try with really any of my other snakes. But I took it out of the fridge. I put it in there on a whim, and I figured she might become interested after it warmed up, but she took it immediately. So kind of a chilly egg, but she doesn't seem to mind at all. The concern with feeding really cold foods is it can be a shock to their system because they are cold-blooded, but she's a very large-bodied animal. And I just don't think she would have took it if it was going to cause her any discomfort or harm. She actually seems really excited, and we could consider this a form of enrichment in that it's a different food than she usually gets and presents different challenges in terms of getting it down her gob hole. This is taking a little bit of time. I'm kind of regretting not filming it as a time lapse, but what can you do? I can try to hold the camera steady, but my arm is falling asleep here. Come on, girl, get it in you. So she has a tube in her throat that allows her to kind of breathe around the egg or whatever prey item, because sometimes snakes take even as long as an hour or hours to swallow prey, and they need to breathe during that time. So they have a tube that can kind of extend out of the mouth, or just very near to the front of the mouth, that allows them to breathe around the prey item. So you hear kind of if you hear kind of a gasp or a gurgle, that's what that is. Usually in these videos, that's me burping or something because I'm hunched over and I'm a disgusting slob. But in this case, it's actually her. You hear that? All right, let's go to a time lapse. Alright, you guys, I had to step out because my girlfriend is sleeping inside, but I am kind of in awe right now of what just happened. Maybe this is old hat to some people, but I've never seen anything like that, certainly not in my own snake collection. I'm sure I made a marker in the time lapse, but shortly after I started filming it, once she had it past her jaws and into her throat, she squeezed and cracked the egg, and I heard it crunch the way bones crunch. It was really loud, really shocking. I suppose I should have been expecting it, but I was thinking that she was going to swallow it whole and let her stomach acid take care of it the way monitor lizards eat eggs, but that was not the case. She squeezed it and pulverized the egg, or at least completely collapsed it in a single movement in the upper half of her throat area. Now, I know that the East African egg-eating snake has bony structures inside of its throat that allow it to crush eggs and do so efficiently and comfortably. This girl, as far as I know, rat snakes don't have that, but they do eat bird eggs as part of their diet. She took care of it, no problem. She's apparently done it before. Somebody's shoveling. But that was extremely cool and a little nerve-wracking, just because I heard that crunch. I saw the shell, kind of jagged pieces kind of poking out the side of her neck, which I guess is no problem for her. In fact, she's probably very excited and feeling very satisfied right now because it's a big win in the wild when a snake comes upon eggs, and they usually eat all the eggs in the nest, right? So I can only imagine that there's a big dopamine rush that comes with finding and consuming an egg successfully. So she's stoked, I'm stoked, but oh my goodness, that sound is gonna haunt my dreams forever. Thinking about jagged, broken egg in my own throat makes me want to die. So I think I'm gonna do some more research on this one. If you think that this was a terrible idea, let me know. If you think this is totally fine, let me know. Why do people not make it a staple part of any rat snake's diet? It's certainly cheaper than rodents. From what I've read, it can be an occasional treat. I'm not sure as to why not feed it more often. If you know the answer to that one, let me know. If I do this again, which I'm not sure I will, I think the size of the egg was fine. She took care of it, no problem, but I would do something with a more brittle shell. Maybe I'll look into getting some quail eggs, something of that nature. If I ever have any slugs or unfertilized eggs from my ball pythons or other snakes, or eggs that don't hatch, that die in the incubator, if I get them before they turn bad, I will definitely give them to her because they have soft leathery shells and she can suck them back, no problem. That was a plan that I always had. It just is a situation that hasn't arisen yet. So stay tuned because usually when you get a clutch of ball python eggs, you get at least a few unfertilized slug eggs, and we'll be feeding those off to her. Oh, I'm so creeped out by that noise. I don't know. I think I had fun with this. Well, there you have it, guys. I think I covered most of the moral dilemma and my navigation of it behind this practice of feeding bird eggs to rat snakes. Bottom line is, it is not commonly done. Google produces very few search results, but it is made clear that rat snakes, all of them, do eat eggs of birds in the wild. That was enough for me personally. Also, the fact that her previous owner had done it multiple times without incident. After perusing the initial Google search results and admittedly going ahead with the feeding, I did some more research, combing through forums. There were people on the forum saying that just because it's part of their natural diet doesn't mean it is a good part of their diet in captivity, citing ideas such as if they get something that they like too much, they'll become a picky eater. Maybe they'll only take eggs. That's definitely an issue with people who switch between different types of food sources. On this channel before, we've discussed issues I had when I went between chicks and mice, and eggs could absolutely be the same. Somebody else commented, and I quote, "Just because I could eat an entire tub of butter in one sitting doesn't mean that I should." And they were equating that to feeding a chicken's egg to a rat snake. I think that doesn't quite add up for me. We know the nutrition of eggs, and it's not the same as a tub of butter. Other people were saying that you should only do this if it is a fertilized egg with a mostly developed chicken embryo inside. Again, this falls flat for me because I know that the nutritional value in calories, minerals, vitamins, and everything else of a chicken egg
is the same when it's first laid as when it is about to hatch. You know, there's no exchange other than of oxygen and moisture between the inside and the outside of the egg. It's exactly the same, and it's probably even easier to digest liquid yolk than it is to break down bone and stuff like that. Although, as we know, these snakes can and do digest bone until it's completely gone, which is exactly what's going to happen with that eggshell, even though it made such a horrible crunching noise and shivered me timbers in a big way. The snake has already had one bowel movement since... It's already been a few days, and the snake has actually had a bowel movement since I filmed the egg swallowing scene. It was completely normal, looked extremely healthy, and I have no concerns. However, I still feel there's a lack of information about this stuff out there. Why is this A, not done more often, or B, frowned upon? If it is, which it does seem to be by some people, but not for reasons that I can really fully understand or agree with. So let me know in the comments. Let's start a discussion. Let's have a back and forth. If you know more than I do, or if you have opinions based in nothing, I'm still interested to hear them and see what other people think about them. Let's get to the bottom of it together. With that, I'm going to end this episode of Hoinoi TV. I have done one upload per week as promised since I started getting a little bit of a trickle of revenue on Patreon. That's right, I have 2 supporters on Patreon who give me a little bit of real money every month to help me support what I'm doing here on the channel. If you want to become a patron of this channel and help support me to do more, feed rescue animals, take in rescue animals, get better equipment, produce more content, travel to handle venomous cobras in the mountains of India, all of those things will be made possible through support from viewers like you. I have the guts, I have the drive, I have the moxie. We just got to make it happen. Also, the world is kind of in shambles right now, but I know that it won't be forever, and I'm already making big plans for when I can become mobile again. Lastly, I want to make a quick shout out to my man, Ricky Mack from the Outback, who's a reptile and venomous snake enthusiast from the north of Australia. I'm an avid watcher of his videos, and I have been for a long time. You guys should all be subscribed to Ricky Mack. If you like what I do, you're going to really like what he does. He goes out in the woods, catches crocodiles, venomous snakes, everything. Nothing seems to scare the guy. He does it all barefoot, and for the first time, it kind of caught up to him earlier today in that he's been bitten by an inland taipan, which I believe is argued to be the most venomous snake on the planet. He was able to get to hospital very quickly though, and although things look dire, with anti-venom treatment, it looks like he's been able to make a rapid recovery, and he's already posting to social media from his hospital bed, and things are looking good. Regardless of that, I want to wish Ricky a speedy recovery. You guys are going to be hearing about this on the news wherever you are in the world, because he is one of the only people to be documented as bitten by this snake. He's going to be on the Wikipedia page of the species for sure. Not that that's an incentive to go out and mess with venomous snakes or, God forbid, intentionally get bitten by one. He very well could have lost his life. I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but it has been the most interesting development of the day for me here in my little quarantine. So, that's it for another episode of Hoinoi TV. I'm your boy Hoinoi, which is short for Horrible Noise, which is my pen name for when I do graffiti, which I don't do anymore because I'm 30 years old and I'm just a normal fellow with a bunch of pythons in his apartment. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like the thumbs up button, all that stuff. I don't know, just help me out.